Thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilized people are beginning to find out going to the mountains is going home, that wilderness is a necessity. Dakota Snider is one specific individual who lives by this daily. Dakota is not your average student. He is one of those rare people who makes a big impact on others. He has faced many negative challenges in his life, but rock climbing is his own savior.
Rock climbing is a huge part of who I am as a person. It's a sport that I can go to when I'm feeling stressed out, when I'm feeling overwhelmed by things, when stuff's emotionally going on with me. I can connect with rock climbing.
Dakota was lucky enough to go to Whistler, Canada this summer and climb with his favorite buddy, his dad, the one who introduced him to climbing when he was 18 months old.
I actually, this summer on the climbing trip that we were on, was really fortunate enough to be able to climb with my dad one of the days. He was able to belay me again. My dad has a debilitating disease called SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, where he's pretty much restricted to a wheelchair now at this point. The disease started to hit really bad when I was around the age of 13. So that transition period between 13 and 16 when I could climb by myself again, he wasn't able to climb with me as often. So this past summer was probably the last time that I'll ever get to climb with him again. But it was one of the definite most emotional climbing times for me because I was super excited to get to climb with him again. The person who taught me everything that I know.
Unfortunately, Dakota's family trip was cut short because of the unexpected Dean Peak fire.
The wind started picking up more in the fire burn area and we found out that we were going to be put under a mandatory evacuation. My mom and I, using some of her friends that we had, were able to fly home standby. One of her friends works for the airlines and helped us out. We flew standby flight from Vancouver back down to Las Vegas, Nevada. We got home and we were just kind of hanging out around the house. My mom was watching some TV. I was upstairs in our upstairs area on a balcony watching the fire, just sitting on the balcony eating, just watching it to see what happens. And I went inside to say something to my mom, and when I came back outside, it was like a nuclear bomb had exploded. The fire had gone from a little area where it had already burned into an entire like 30+ acre ridge that was just super thick with pine trees and stuff like that. And with a 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing on it, it just started pushing directly toward our neighborhood. The fire burned 3.5 miles in 45 minutes, just so you can get a feel for how quickly it was moving on us. So we were evacuated about 9:45 at night. We sat there till 3 in the morning just trying to listen to anything over the police radio, trying to hear if they said anything. I mean, all we are is we're looking up to our neighborhood, it just glowing embers the entire night, seeing how much is burned. We were sitting right on the side of the road when we heard a call come through the radio saying structure on fire. I remember all of us neighbors that were standing there was about 5 or 6 of us. We just kind of grabbed hands and we were like, you know what guys, whatever happens, happens, at this point. And it was really emotional. I just didn't really know what to do. And so that's where I turned to the only thing that I really knew that could calm me down and that could clear my head, and that was rock climbing. One of my really good friends in Kingman, he's like, hey dude, let's go climb for the afternoon. And so in the mix of being evacuated and being homeless and having my dad and my sister still not home yet, them driving back from Canada, and all of us none of us were mentally completely all the way there. And I realized that I needed to step up and be that anchor for my family and be able to have a clear head and be able to help them in this time when we were all, mentally unhealthy. And so I turned to climbing. And I went out and climbed for just an afternoon with one of my friends, and it was the most cleansing thing that I've probably ever been able to do, just to go out. And I mean, we were crying for days, it was emotional, it really was. And so to be able to go out and just, climb a climb that I've done, 100 times in my life, and to go out there and just feel the rock again and just be like, you know what, it's gonna be okay. The thing that mattered most was that my mom, my dad, and my sister and I were all okay, is that we were safe. Everything else is stuff. It could be repurchased, it could be recreated. I mean, to know that my family was completely safe was something that I really, really realized when I was out climbing was, you know what? Whatever happens, happens, but I know that I still have my mom, dad, and my sister there at the end of the day.